So once I've removed everything that I need to from my block, I can start to print my first layer. Now I'm going to have some new tools. I'm going to have a bench hook, which is something flat that I'm going to roll out my ink on. I have my block that you can see the text across the top is removed, and I'm going to have a registration block. Now this is going to keep my block in the same spot, and it's going to be the same size as my paper, so when I print, all my prints will have the same border on them, and that's going to be important for when I print my second layer, so it will keep them from it'll keep them matched up with each other. I also have paper that is the same size as that registration block, and I've checked that. I'm going to use a Baren, which is something with a smooth surface, and I'm going to burnish my prints with that, so I need to have that handy. And I'm also going to use a brayer, and the brayer is just a roller that I'm going to use to roll out flats of ink and transfer them to my block. Now I want to keep this registration block clean, so I always want to set that off to the side when I'm inking my block. So as I said before, I want to do a yellow, kind of gold yellow. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ink to my block and a tiny bit of red. And I'm going to use a palette knife to mix the color, if you want to mix colors at all. Once I have it mixed as cleanly as I can start to spread it out. And if I have any extra, I can kind of keep it off to the side. I don't want to be able to see the bench hook through this band, and I want to make the band about as wide as my brayer. So then I can keep my palette knife on the side, and I'm going to draw down with the brayer, and every time that I draw down, I'm going to lift off at the bottom and top of every roll. So I'm going to keep drawing down more ink. And I should start to hear a sound kind of like Velcro, and it'll look mostly smooth. If I can't see the bench hook through the ink, that's good. If I see too much texture on the ink, like little peaks, I have too much ink and I need to spread it out more. So once this is charged and it's fully covered in ink, I can come over to my block and start to coat it as evenly as I can. The first few passes might be kind of see-through, and they might take a lot of ink off the roller. This ink dries fairly quickly, so I want to work at a pretty good speed. And I want this block to be totally orange or gold. Okay, so that's pretty even. I can put my brayer in front of the block upside down, and this keeps the table from getting messy. It also keeps the brayer from getting a flat spot. Then I want to line up my registration block, and I'm going to lay down my first piece of paper, starting by lining it up in the corners of my block and making sure it doesn't move around as I use the Baren to burnish the paper to the print. After I've made sure I've gotten everything, including the corners, I can put the Baren off to the side. I can grab one corner of the paper and peel up the print, and I have my first layer. So I'm going to set these off to the side and keep continuing to print. Every time I'm going to recharge the brayer over here and replenish this with ink, and I'll come back and do the second layer after these are dry.